What kind of relationship gives one person the authority to summon another major celebrity to their company headquarters, and then watch their every move from an undisclosed location, while issuing specific instructions about poses, expressions, and wardrobe choices? The entertainment industry was rocked to its core yesterday when insider sources revealed that Lu Yuning, who has been quietly operating as CEO of his own entertainment company while maintaining his acting career, orchestrated an elaborate photoshoot for Zhao Lusi at his corporate headquarters, but instead of being present for the session, he chose to monitor everything remotely from an unknown location, communicating directions through staff members in a way that left everyone on set uncomfortable and Zhao Lusi herself visibly confused about what was really happening. The revelation that Lu Yuning owns and operates a company substantial enough to have professional photo studios and staff, while simultaneously having the kind of relationship with Zhao Lusi that allows him to essentially command her presence and dictate her activities, has ignited fierce debates about power dynamics, hidden business relationships, and whether what appeared to be a simple professional photoshoot was actually something far more complex and potentially troubling. Why would Lu Yuning, who could easily attend a photoshoot in person at his own company, choose instead to observe from a distance while maintaining control over every detail? And what does Zhao Lusi's apparent compliance with this unusual arrangement reveal about the true nature of their relationship, and whatever agreements or obligations exist between them? Multiple witnesses from the photoshoot have come forward anonymously to describe an atmosphere that became increasingly tense and strange as the day progressed, with Zhao Lusi initially appearing professional and cooperative but gradually showing signs of confusion and discomfort as it became clear that Lu Yuning was watching everything she did and sending detailed feedback and instructions without revealing where he was or why he had chosen this bizarre method of direction. The staff members tasked with relaying Lu Yuning's messages reportedly became uncomfortable with their role as intermediaries, particularly when his instructions became very specific about aspects of Zhao Lusi's appearance and positioning that seemed to go beyond typical professional photography direction, and into territory that felt uncomfortably personal or controlling. But here's the detail that has investigators and fans absolutely shaken. Sources inside Lu Yuning's company claim he had multiple camera angles set up throughout the photo studio and adjacent areas, ostensibly for monitoring the shoot, but the extent of the surveillance and the fact that feeds were being transmitted to his private location has raised serious questions about whether this was genuinely about directing a photoshoot or about Lu Yuning maintaining some kind of observation and control over Zhao Lusi that extends far beyond normal professional boundaries. The combination of Lu Yuning's position as CEO giving him ultimate authority over the environment, his choice to exercise that authority remotely rather than face-to-face, and Zhao Lusi's apparent willingness to participate in this arrangement despite its obvious strangeness has created a situation that defies easy interpretation. Are we witnessing an innovative approach to collaborative creative work between two professionals who trust each other deeply, or are we seeing evidence of a power imbalance and control dynamic that should concern anyone who cares about healthy relationships and professional boundaries in the entertainment industry? The photoshoot was scheduled to take place at Lu Yuning's company headquarters, a modern facility in a prime location that few people outside the industry knew he owned and operated. Lu Yuning has maintained a relatively low profile regarding his business ventures, preferring to be known publicly primarily as an actor and entertainer, rather than as a business executive and CEO. However, industry insiders have long been aware that he has been building a substantial entertainment company over the past several years, initially focusing on talent management and music production before expanding into broader entertainment services including photography studios, recording facilities, and production spaces. The company employs dozens of staff members and has worked with numerous artists and celebrities, though Lu Yuning's personal involvement in day-to-day operations has typically been minimal as he balances his business responsibilities with his demanding acting career. Zhao Lusi's presence at Lu Yuning's company was initially explained as a collaborative project between the two stars, with early reports suggesting they were working on promotional materials for an upcoming drama or perhaps developing content for social media. However, as details emerged about the actual nature of the shoot and Lu Yuning's remote direction method, the explanation of a simple collaborative project began to seem insufficient. Witnesses described Zhao Lusi arriving at the company looking professional and prepared, apparently expecting a standard photoshoot experience where she would work with photographers and creative directors to produce images. What she encountered instead was a situation that none of the participants seemed fully prepared for or comfortable with. The realization that Lu Yuning was not physically present but was monitoring and directing the shoot remotely reportedly became apparent about an hour into the session. Initially, the photography team worked with Zhao Lusi using standard professional approaches, discussing concepts, trying different setups, and allowing her creative input into poses and styling. However, after this initial period, staff members began receiving messages on their phones and through earpieces, and the tone of the shoot changed dramatically. Suddenly, very specific instructions were being communicated to Zhao Lusi about exactly how to position herself, what expressions to make, where to look, and even minute details about her hair placement and hand positioning. When Zhao Lusi naturally asked where these detailed instructions were coming from, she was told that CEO Lu Yuning was monitoring the shoot and providing guidance. Zhao Lusi's reaction to learning that Lu Yuning was watching and directing remotely has been described by witnesses as surprise followed by visible confusion about why he would choose this approach rather than simply being present in person. Sources claim she asked multiple times where he was and why he wasn't at the studio, receiving only vague responses that he was handling other business matters but wanted to ensure the shoot met his vision. The explanation apparently did not satisfy her, and her body language throughout the remainder of the shoot reportedly reflected her discomfort with the situation, though she continued to follow the directions being relayed to her with professional compliance. The extent of Lu Yuning's monitoring capabilities has become a source of particular controversy and concern. The studio space was equipped with multiple high-definition cameras positioned at various angles, ostensibly to provide the photography team with different perspectives and to allow for video capture if desired. However, sources familiar with the setup report that all these camera feeds were being transmitted in real time to Lu Yuning's remote location, giving him the ability to observe Zhao Lusi from multiple angles simultaneously and to see not just the formal photography being captured, but also her movements and interactions during breaks and setup changes. This comprehensive surveillance, while technically justifiable as a CEO monitoring a project at his company, felt to many present as excessive and invasive, particularly given that the subject being monitored was a personal acquaintance and professional partner rather than an unknown contracted talent. The specificity and personal nature of some of Liu Yuning's transmitted instructions has been cited by witnesses as particularly uncomfortable. While professional photography direction typically focuses on achieving particular aesthetic or conceptual goals with explanation about why certain poses or expressions are needed, many of Liu Yuning's instructions were reportedly delivered as commands without context or explanation. Phrases like "soften your eyes more," "turn 3 degrees to the left," "think about winter," and other cryptic or hyperspecific directions created an atmosphere where Zhao Lusi and the photography team felt they were trying to satisfy someone's very particular vision without understanding what that vision was or why certain elements were important. Some instructions touched on very personal aspects of Zhao Lusi's appearance in ways that made the professional staff uncomfortable to relay, with several staff members later reporting that they felt they were being asked to communicate inappropriate or overly intimate comments. The power dynamics inherent in this situation have become a central focus of critical analysis and concern. As CEO of the company where the shoot was taking place, Liu Yuning held ultimate authority over the environment, the staff, and the project parameters. As a major star with significant industry influence and resources, he also held considerable power in his relationship with Zhao Lusi, even though she is herself a successful and influential actress. The combination of these power positions, exercised through remote monitoring and instruction, rather than direct personal interaction, creates a dynamic that many observers find troubling. Questions have been raised about whether Zhao Lusi felt she could refuse instructions or leave the shoot without damaging her relationship with Liu Yuning or facing professional consequences, and whether her compliance with the unusual situation was genuinely voluntary or represented a response to implicit or explicit pressure. Industry veterans have noted that remote direction of creative projects is not unprecedented in entertainment, particularly in circumstances where schedules don't align, or where creative leads need to manage multiple projects simultaneously. However, most observers agree that the circumstances of this particular shoot differ significantly from typical remote direction scenarios. When directors or creative leads work remotely, they usually do so through established collaborative relationships with on-site professionals who have authority to interpret and implement direction, and the remote leader typically participates through video conference where their presence is transparent to everyone involved. Liu Yuning's choice to monitor without being visible, to send instructions through intermediaries rather than communicating directly, and to maintain such extensive surveillance of Zhao Lusi throughout the process represents a significant departure from professional norms in ways that seem designed to maintain control while avoiding direct accountability or confrontation. Speculation about Liu Yuning's motivations for orchestrating the shoot in this particular way has generated countless theories, each painting a different picture of his intentions and his relationship with Zhao Lusi. The most charitable interpretation suggests that he may have had legitimate scheduling conflicts that prevented him from attending in person, but felt strongly about the creative direction of the shoot and wanted to ensure his vision was realized. This explanation is consistent with behavior of perfectionistic creative professionals who struggle to delegate control even when they cannot be physically present. However, this benign interpretation struggles to account for the excessive surveillance setup and the uncomfortable personal nature of some instructions that went beyond typical creative direction. More concerning interpretations suggest that Liu Yuning's remote monitoring represents a need for control over Zhao Lusi that extends beyond professional collaboration into personal territory. These theories propose that the photoshoot may have been less about producing images and more about Liu Yuning asserting his ability to direct Zhao Lusi's behavior and appearance, essentially using his position as CEO and the professional pretext of a photoshoot to exercise power over her in ways that satisfied some personal need for control or validation. The most extreme versions of these theories suggest possessive or obsessive behavior that would be deeply problematic if accurate, with the remote monitoring representing an attempt to observe Zhao Lusi extensively while maintaining physical distance that might allow him plausible deniability about his intentions. Alternative theories focus on testing or demonstration, proposing that perhaps Liu Yuning was evaluating Zhao Lusi's responsiveness and professionalism under challenging circumstances, either to assess her suitability for future projects or to demonstrate to her the extent of his authority and capabilities. This interpretation, while more business-focused, is hardly more reassuring, as it would suggest manipulation and power games that would be inappropriate in any healthy professional relationship. Some theorists propose that the entire setup might be part of some larger project or experiment, perhaps for a reality show or documentary about creative processes, though no evidence supports this speculation, and the discomfort reported by participants seems inconsistent with consensual participation in documented content creation. Zhao Lusi's decision to participate in the shoot despite the unusual circumstances has been scrutinized extensively, with observers divided about what her compliance indicates about her relationship with Liu Yuning and her own agency in the situation. Some fans defend her choice to complete the shoot as professional commitment, arguing that she agreed to the project and felt obligated to follow through even when the conditions proved different than expected. This interpretation emphasizes Zhao Lusi's professionalism and work ethic while suggesting she may have been uncomfortable, but chose to handle the situation with grace, rather than creating conflict. However, other observers worry that her participation represents an inability to refuse or extract herself from an uncomfortable situation due to relationship dynamics or power imbalances that prevented her from exercising her genuine preferences. The question of whether Zhao Lusi knew in advance about the remote monitoring setup has become crucial to assessing the appropriateness of the situation. If she was fully informed beforehand that Liu Yuning would be directing remotely through extensive surveillance, her consent to the arrangement would contextualize the situation differently than if she discovered the setup only after arriving and felt unable to object. Sources disagree about what Zhao Lusi knew beforehand, with some claiming she was briefed on all aspects of the shoot while others insist the extent of monitoring was not communicated clearly or at all. The ambiguity on this crucial point has frustrated attempts to assess whether Liu Yuning's actions represent a consensual if unusual creative collaboration, or a more problematic exercise of control over someone who lacked full information or felt unable to refuse. The staff members caught in the middle of this situation have faced their own challenges and criticism. As employees of Liu Yuning's company, they were obligated to follow their CEO's instructions and facilitate the shoot according to his specifications. However, several staff members apparently felt uncomfortable with what they were asked to do, particularly when relaying instructions that seemed inappropriately personal, or when they observed Zhao Lusi's visible discomfort with the situation. The ethical dilemma faced by these employees, torn between professional obligations to their employer and concern for the well-being of the talent they were working with, highlights how power structures in business settings can create situations where people feel compelled to participate in